20 black teen stars who completely vanished from Hollywood. They were once the young faces millions of families welcomed into their homes every week. Some carried blockbuster films, while others became unforgettable members of beloved black sitcom families. Hollywood promised them brilliant futures, but when childhood ended, the cameras suddenly turned elsewhere. A few walked away to protect their peace, some built surprising careers outside entertainment, and others disappeared from public view without ever explaining why. Their stories reveal a difficult truth: early fame offers recognition, but it never guarantees a place in Hollywood as an adult. Which former child star's journey will surprise you most? Stay with us as we uncover where these gifted performers went. Subscribe to Remembered Lives channel, like this video, and share your favorite childhood star in the comments below. Brandon Quinton Adams. For children who grew up in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Brandon Quinton Adams seemed to appear wherever adventure was waiting. Born in 1979, Adams entered entertainment at an early age and reached an international audience through Michael Jackson's 1988 musical film Moonwalker. He portrayed Zeke in the Smooth Criminal segment and appeared as a young Michael Jackson in Batter, revealing an easy confidence that cameras immediately captured. His most substantial early breakthrough arrived in Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs in 1991. As the resourceful young hero known as Fool, Adams carried a dark, unconventional horror story with humor, fear, and remarkable emotional control. Hollywood soon placed him at the center of two defining sports franchises. He played Jesse Hall in The Mighty Ducks in 1992 and returned for D2, The Mighty Ducks in 1994. Between those films, he became Kenny DeNunes, the talented pitcher in the 1993 classic The Sandlot. Kenny was not the loudest member of the team, but Adams gave him composure and unmistakable coolness. More than 3 decades later, audiences still associate his performance with the warmth of childhood summers. Adams also appeared in A Different World, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin's Sister Moesha, and Boy Meets World. Nevertheless, as he moved into adulthood, prominent offers became increasingly scarce. There was no single confirmed scandal that ended his rise, and it would be misleading to invent one. His screen appearances simply became intermittent as Hollywood's attention shifted elsewhere. Adams occasionally returns for interviews, conventions, and cast reunions, where the affection surrounding his earlier work remains evident. He did not literally disappear, but he quietly moved beyond mainstream visibility. His story illustrates a difficult Hollywood truth: a performer can help create several generational classics and still be overlooked once childhood ends. Yet every time The Sandlot or The Mighty Ducks plays again, Brandon Quinton Adams steps back onto the field and into the memories of millions. Brandon Hammond. Brandon Hammond did not leave Hollywood because audiences stopped believing in him. At the moment his future appeared brightest, an unseen medical crisis changed the direction of his life. Born in 1984, Hammond began working professionally as a young child and quickly developed a reputation for conveying emotions that many older performers struggled to reach. In 1993, he portrayed young Kane in Menace to Society, briefly showing the childhood circumstances behind the film's tragic central character. 2 years later, his performance as Walter in Tales from the Hood brought painful credibility to a story about domestic abuse. His resume expanded rapidly. Hammond appeared in Waiting to Exhale, Strange Days, The Fan Mars Attacks, and Space Jam, in which he played a young Michael Jordan. Television viewers also saw him as Anthony in Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and Dame Maddie Stevenson in The Gregory Hines Show. Then came the performance that permanently connected him with black family cinema, Ahmed Joseph in Soul Food. Released in 1997, Soul Food used Ahmed's perspective to observe a family being pulled apart after the illness and death of its matriarch. Hammond supplied the film with innocence, sorrow, and hope. His work earned the 1998 NOACP Image Award for Outstanding Youth Actor. Behind that triumph, however, Hammond was confronting Castleman disease, a rare group of disorders involving an overactive immune system. Diagnosed at 13, he experienced alarming physical symptoms while being advised to keep his condition private. Although he completed several later projects, including The West Wing, Blue Hill Avenue, and the 2002 television film Our America, his acting career gradually stopped. For years, viewers wondered why such a gifted performer had vanished. Hammond eventually revealed that his retreat was connected to survival, not a lack of ambition. He later pursued filmmaking and won recognition for his screenwriting. He is now developing Sunday Dinner: The Soul Food Reunion, a documentary intended to reunite the film's cast and preserve its cultural legacy. His journey is not a story of wasted promise. It is about a young star forced to choose his health and finally returning to tell the truth in his own voice. Ross Bagley. Ross Bagley entered Hollywood with the kind of natural warmth that could not be manufactured. Born in 1988, he was still a small child when he appeared as Buckwheat in the 1994 film adaptation of The Little Rascals. Surrounded by an energetic ensemble, Bagley distinguished himself through his expressive reactions, cheerful personality, and effortless comic timing. The performance helped the young cast win a Young Artist Award and opened the door to an even more recognizable television role. Later that year, Bagley joined The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as Nicholas "Nicky" Banks, the youngest child of Philip and Vivian Banks. Introduced during the sitcom's 5th season, Nicky brought fresh energy to the Banks household. Bagley developed particularly memorable chemistry with Will Smith, whose playful performance style allowed the young actor to shine without appearing overwhelmed. He remained with the program until its conclusion in 1996, becoming part of a series that would continue reaching new generations through syndication and streaming. Bagley's connection with Smith extended to the blockbuster Independence Day. As Dylan Dubrow, the son of Jasmine Dubrow, he appeared in a worldwide box office phenomenon that earned more than $817 million. At only 7 years old, Bagley had already participated in a popular family comedy, a defining black sitcom, and one of the decade's largest motion pictures. Yet the expected transition into teenage stardom never followed. After several television and voice appearances, his acting work became increasingly limited. Rather than struggling publicly to remain visible, Bagley pursued an education in cinema and television arts at California State University Northridge. He eventually built a career outside acting as a Los Angeles area real estate professional and DJ. Bagley resurfaced for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion in 2020, allowing viewers to see the grown man behind their childhood memories. He did not disappear through scandal or professional collapse. He simply selected another direction. Hollywood lost a familiar young face, but Ross Bagley gained something former child stars rarely receive: the freedom to define adulthood beyond the character who first made him famous. Marcus T. Paulk. Long before millions knew him as Miles Mitchell, Marcus T. Paulk was already developing the versatility that would carry him through the demanding world of child entertainment. Born in Los Angeles in 1986, Paulk began performing professionally at approximately 4 years old. Early appearances on programs including Grace Under Fire, Martin, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Thea taught him how to hold his own beside experienced adult comedians. His defining opportunity arrived in 1996 when he was cast as Miles, the mischievous younger brother of Brandy Norwood's title character in Moesha. Across 6 seasons, viewers watched Paulk grow from a quick-witted little boy into a teenager. Miles frequently interrupted serious family situations with a joke, but Paulk also gave the character moments of fear, loyalty, and vulnerability. Because the series entered homes every week from 1996 until 2001, many audience members felt as though they had grown up alongside him. Unlike some former sitcom children, Paulk continued securing work after the show ended. He voiced Myron Lewinsky in The Proud Family, and displayed his skating ability as Boo in the 2005 film Roll Bounce. He subsequently appeared in Take the Lead, Another Cinderella Story, and George Lucas's 2012 war drama Red Tails. These projects demonstrated that his abilities extended beyond the energetic younger brother audiences remembered. Nevertheless, the steady mainstream visibility of his Moesha years gradually diminished. Leading opportunities became less frequent, and newer generations often recognized the program more readily than the performer. Paulk also faced a DUI case in 2015, to which he pleaded guilty and received probation. It was a documented mistake, but it should not be exaggerated into the sole explanation for his career's changing direction. Importantly, Paulk has not completely abandoned entertainment. He returned to voice Myron in Disney's The Proud Family louder and prouder, proving that his creative journey remains unfinished. His story is therefore not about total disappearance. It is about how a child star can continue working while slipping beyond mainstream attention, and how one familiar voice can instantly carry an older audience back to a treasured era of black television. Emmanuel Lewis. During the 1980s, few young television performers were as instantly recognizable as Emmanuel Lewis. Born in Brooklyn in 1971, Lewis began his professional journey through commercials for brands, including Burger King, Campbell's, Soup and Life cereal. His expressive face, gentle humor, and remarkable ability to communicate emotions soon attracted television producers searching for someone capable of carrying an entire family sitcom. That opportunity became Webster, which premiered in 1983. Lewis portrayed Webster Long, a young boy adopted by his godfather George Papadopoulos and George's wife Catherine after losing his parents. Although the program initially emphasized its adult stars, Alex Karras and Susan Clark, Lewis quickly became its emotional center. Webster's optimism, curiosity, and vulnerability gave the comedy a compassionate foundation, particularly when episodes addressed grief, adoption, bullying, and childhood fears. The series lasted 6 seasons and produced 150 episodes between 1983 and 1989. At its height, Lewis was a household name who appeared on magazine covers, attended major public events, and developed a widely publicized friendship with Michael Jackson. His popularity also extended overseas, especially to Japan, where he recorded music and appeared in advertisements. When Webster ended, however, the industry struggled to imagine Lewis in a different kind of role. His unusually short stature had helped make his television image distinctive, but no reliable public source confirms the specific medical explanation frequently repeated online. What can be confirmed is that suitable adult roles became scarce. Lewis later attended Clark Atlanta University and graduated with a degree in theater arts. He made occasional appearances in programs and films including Moshe, Malcolm and Eddie, The Surreal Life and Kickin' It Old School, but never returned to weekly television prominence. Today, Lewis largely stays outside mainstream entertainment, occasionally appearing at conventions and nostalgic celebrations. His withdrawal was not accompanied by a spectacular scandal. Hollywood simply moved forward without finding a new place for him. Yet for viewers who remember Webster, Emmanuel Lewis remains much more than a vanished child star. He represents an era when kindness, family, and a small boy's enormous heart could hold millions of people together for half an hour. Tempestt Bledsoe. Tempestt Bledsoe was only 11 years old when she entered one of television's most influential fictional families. Born in Chicago in 1973, Bledsoe was selected to play Vanessa Huxtable on The Cosby Show, which premiered in September 1984. As the fourth of Cliff and Claire Huxtable's 5 children, Vanessa occupied a challenging position, old enough to question the rules, yet young enough to discover why those rules existed. Across 8 seasons, Bledsoe transformed Vanessa from a curious child into an independent young woman. Her storylines explored sibling rivalry, friendships, school pressures, dishonesty, romance, and the complicated process of earning parental trust. One of her most memorable episodes followed Vanessa's secret trip to Baltimore for a concert, resulting in a confrontation that longtime viewers still discuss. Bledsoe's gift was making ordinary teenage mistakes feel immediate and believable without allowing Vanessa to lose the audience's affection. At its height, The Cosby Show ranked among America's most watched programs, bringing Bledsoe a level of recognition few adolescents experience. Nevertheless, she understood that television success could disappear. While maintaining her career, she pursued higher education and eventually earned a finance degree from New York University, a decision that gave her an identity beyond Vanessa Huxtable. After the sitcom ended in 1992, Bledsoe refused to chase attention constantly. She appeared selectively in productions such as The Practice, Strong Medicine, Insecure, and the animated film Paranorman. She hosted Clean House and returned to NBC as Marnie in the 2012 to 2013 comedy Guys with Kids. In 2019, she appeared in Netflix's Family Reunion, reconnecting with audiences who had watched her mature decades earlier. Bledsoe has maintained a long-term relationship with actor Darrell M. Bell, while protecting much of her private life. She did not completely abandon acting, nor is there evidence that Hollywood formally rejected her. Instead, she built a quieter existence and accepted projects on her own terms. Tempestt Bledsoe's absence from constant headlines is therefore not a tragedy. It is the rare story of a child star who experienced enormous fame and still retained control over the woman she became. Countess Vaughn. Before Countess Vaughn became one of black television's most memorable comedic performers, audiences first discovered her through music. Born in Oklahoma in 1978, Vaughn possessed a remarkably powerful singing voice from childhood. In 1988, while still only 9 years old, she competed successfully on Star Search, announcing herself as a young entertainer capable of commanding a stage far beyond her years. Television opportunities followed. Vaughn joined 227 as Alexandria DeWitt and later appeared on programs including Thea Hengjin with Mr. Cooper and Rock. These early roles prepared her for the character that would define her career. In 1996, she became Kimberly Ann Parker, better known as Kim on Moesha. Loud, confident, impulsive, and endlessly funny, Kim was the best friend who could turn an ordinary conversation into the episode's biggest moment. Vaughn's comic delivery and musical ability made Kim too valuable to remain a supporting character. In 1999, she moved to the spin-off The Parkers, starring opposite Monique. The sitcom followed Kim through college while her determined mother Nikki pursued both an education and the affection of Professor Ogilvy. Running for 5 seasons and more than 100 episodes, the program became a defining UPN comedy and gave Vaughn a lasting place in the history of black sitcoms. After The Parkers ended in 2004, Vaughn's mainstream presence declined sharply. She continued making occasional appearances, but personal responsibilities, health concerns, public criticism of her appearance, and an industry offering fewer substantial roles changed her professional rhythm. Vaughn later discussed some of her experiences through reality programs such as Celebrity Fit Club and Hollywood Divas. Those appearances revealed a woman attempting to reclaim her identity after spending much of her youth performing for others. It would be inaccurate to say Vaughn vanished completely. She has remained connected to entertainment and her audience, even when regular acting opportunities became limited. Her legacy survives every time a clip of Kim Parker circulates and viewers repeat one of her outrageous lines. Beneath the laughter is a more complicated story. A gifted child singer who became a sitcom institution endured the unforgiving pressure of fame and continued seeking peace beyond the applause. Curtis Williams. Curtis Williams became familiar to television audiences during a period when black family sitcoms offered warmth, humor, and recognizable lessons about growing up. Born in 1987, Williams entered entertainment as a child and appeared in the 1994 comedy Beverly Hills Cop 3. His defining opportunity followed when he joined Robert Townsend's WB sitcom The Parenthood as Nicholas Peterson. Premiering in 1995, the series centered on university professor Robert Peterson and his wife Jerry as they raised 4 children in New York. Nicholas was the playful younger son whose curiosity and mischievous decisions frequently created problems for the adults. Williams possessed an energetic delivery that made even simple exchanges memorable. He remained a principal cast member throughout the program's 5-season, 90-episode run, effectively growing from a small child into an adolescent before the audience. His visibility extended beyond the sitcom. Williams became a recurring guest on The Tonight Show, with Jay Leno reportedly appearing more than a dozen times. During one memorable appearance, Leno presented the young performer with a go-kart because he was not yet old enough to drive. In 1997, Williams was included on Jet magazine's cover celebrating some of television and film's most popular child stars. At that moment, his future in entertainment appeared wide open. When The Parenthood ended in 1999, however, Williams largely withdrew from mainstream acting. Unlike numerous former child performers, his name was not continually attached to highly publicized controversies. There is also no reliable evidence proving that one particular event ended his career. The available record simply shows that major screen roles stopped arriving or that Williams chose not to pursue them publicly. In 2019, he reunited with former television siblings Reagan Gomez Preston and Ashley Amari Adams, reminding fans that their off-screen connection had survived adulthood. By then, all 3 had become parents themselves. Curtis Williams did not leave behind an enormous filmography, but he contributed to a series that presented an affectionate, successful black household during the WB network's earliest years. For longtime viewers, hearing the name Nicholas Peterson still brings back an era when family comedy could be both entertaining and gently instructive. Ashley Amari Adams. Ashley Amari Adams was only a small child when she became the youngest member of one of the 1990s most recognizable television families. Born in California in 1991, Adams entered the parenthood as Cecilia Cece Peterson when the WB sitcom premiered in January 1995. Because she was approximately 3 years old during the program's earliest production period, much of her childhood unfolded under studio lights. Cece was the youngest daughter of Robert and Jerry Peterson, portrayed by Robert Townsend and Suzanne Douglas. While the older children confronted dating, school pressure, responsibility, and teenage rebellion, Cece often supplied innocence and unexpected honesty. Adams's natural reactions created humor without requiring elaborate dialogue. As she grew older, the writers gradually expanded her participation, allowing viewers to witness both the character and performer develop across 5 seasons. The Parenthood produced 90 episodes between 1995 and 1999 and helped establish the WB network's original comedy lineup. The series was particularly meaningful to Black audiences because it depicted educated, financially secure parents confronting ordinary family problems without presenting their household as perfect. Adams's Cece completed that picture, embodying the youngest generation still learning from everyone around her. In 1999, Adams also provided a voice performance in the family comedy Baby Geniuses. Nevertheless, after the Parenthood ended, she did not follow the expected path toward constant adolescent stardom. Her acting credits became extremely limited. A later appearance connected with Girlfriends briefly returned her to television, but no major adult acting career followed. There is no verified public account of a scandal or professional dispute that forced Adams away. Any dramatic explanation would be speculation. Instead, she appears to have prioritized a more private adulthood. A 2019 reunion with Reagan Gomez Preston and Curtis Williams revealed that Adams had become a mother, turning the former fictional siblings into real-life parents with families of their own. Ashley Amari Adams effectively vanished from mainstream Hollywood, but not from the memories of viewers. Her story captures something quietly emotional. Millions watched her grow up, yet when the cameras stopped, she was finally able to build a life they could no longer see. Kenny Blank. Kenny Blank's journey cannot accurately be described as a complete disappearance from entertainment. What vanished was the familiar young actor standing in front of the camera. Behind it, however, he evolved into Ken Michael, and director-editor, composer, producer, and voice performer whose career became broader than many viewers realized. Born Kenneth Michael Benbow Blank in New York City in 1977, he demonstrated musical and film-making interests from childhood. His father, Warren Benbow, was a jazz drummer while his mother had worked as a dancer. Blank began acting professionally while young and earned early attention as Tito in the 1991 Joe Pesci comedy The Super. That performance brought him a Young Artist Award nomination. He then portrayed Linus Bragg in Carolina Skeletons, a drama inspired by the wrongful conviction and execution of 14-year-old George Stinney Jr. Further roles followed in Boomerang, Alex Haley's Queen, and the short-lived sitcom Tall Hopes. In 1995, Blank became Michael Peterson in The Parenthood. As the Peterson family's oldest son, Michael frequently challenged his professor father's expectations while searching for independence. Blank remained through the first 3 seasons and also contributed music to the production, signaling that his ambitions already extended beyond acting. After leaving the sitcom, he studied filmmaking at the University of Southern California and increasingly worked behind the camera. Using the professional name Ken Michael, he directed, edited, photographed, and composed for various projects. His voice career also remained substantial. He played Darren Patterson in As Told by Ginger, provided a selectable protagonist voice in the Saints Row video game series, voiced characters in Cannon Busters, and appeared in Teen Titans Go! Michael directed the 2019 television film In Broad Daylight and has continued pursuing visual storytelling and production. Therefore, presenting him as someone Hollywood completely abandoned would be misleading. Audiences may wonder what happened to Kenny Blank because his face stopped appearing regularly on screen. The answer is more uplifting than tragic. He did not lose his creativity. He redirected it. The child actor stepped away, but the filmmaker behind him was only beginning to emerge. Kia Goodwin. Kia Goodwin's career began years before most viewers encountered her on 227. Born in Montclair, New Jersey in 1973, Goodwin appeared in commercials as a young child, and later joined a national touring company of the musical Annie. By the early 1980s, she had reached Broadway performing as Tessie and Kate in the show's final original run. That theatrical training prepared her for the television role that would make her recognizable nationwide. In 1985, Goodwin was cast as Tiffany Holloway in NBC's 227. Tiffany was the daughter of Rose Lee Holloway, portrayed by Elena Reed Hall, and a close friend of Brenda Jenkins, played by Regina King. Goodwin brought an intelligent and youthful presence to the Washington, D.C. apartment building where neighbors gathered on the front stoop to exchange jokes, gossip, and advice. Goodwin was a regular during the first season and appeared less frequently during the second. Published accounts indicate that her mother was unhappy living in California and wanted the family to return to New York. Goodwin was consequently released from her contract rather than being dismissed for misconduct or inadequate performance. She later returned for another episode, but Tiffany gradually disappeared from the series. Unlike the title of this video suggests, Goodwin did not permanently vanish from acting. She returned to the stage in Paul Simon's Broadway musical The Cape Man and appeared in films including Strap, The Object of My Affection, Swim Fan, and DC Noir. Television credits included Platinum, Barbershop, Law & Order Special Victims Unit, The Good Wife, Show Me a Hero, Elementary, and The Code. Her career became quieter and more character-driven, far removed from the child star attention surrounding 227. That reduced visibility may create the impression that she disappeared, but the documented record tells a different story. Kia Goodwin represents a performer who transitioned from child television fame into theater and supporting adult roles without constantly courting publicity. Tiffany Holloway may remain her most nostalgic character, but it was never the final chapter of her professional life. Ralph Woolfolk IV. Ralph Woolfolk IV left entertainment so completely that viewers who remember him as energetic little D.D. Parker may be surprised by the responsibility he carries today. Born in Atlanta in 1985, Woolfolk was still a child when he joined Nickelodeon's My Brother and Me, one of the network's earliest sitcoms centered on a predominantly black family. He portrayed Derek D.D. Parker, the younger brother who admired Alfie and constantly wanted to participate in his adventures. D.D. was curious, trusting, and rarely discouraged by being told that he was too young. Whether he was asking for the famous cool Dr. Money haircut or attempting to prove himself on the basketball court, Woolfolk gave the character a combination of innocence and determination. His reactions often created the program's biggest laughs. My Brother and Me premiered in October 1994 and produced only 13 episodes. Despite that short run, repeated broadcasts allowed the Parker family to remain part of Nickelodeon culture long after production ended. The series also received NOACP Image Award nominations in 1996 and 1997. Woolfolk later explained that disagreements between the show's creative and production leadership contributed to its cancellation. Rather than continuing to chase auditions, Woolfolk concentrated on education. He attended Morehouse College, played baseball, and joined Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. He subsequently entered law enforcement with the Atlanta Police Department and earned a master's degree from Georgia State University in 2020. His rise within the department was substantial. Woolfolk served in leadership positions connected with homicide investigations, gang enforcement, firearm crime, and narcotics operations. By 2024, he had been recognized as a Georgia State 40 under 40 honoree and held the rank of major. He later became commander of Atlanta's Zone 3 precinct. He is also a husband and father of 3. Hollywood did not provide Ralph Woolfolk IV with a long acting resume. Instead, he exchanged fictional childhood problems for consequential public service. The boy who once followed his television brother into harmless mischief grew into a man responsible for leading others through some of Atlanta's most difficult realities. Reggie III. Arthur Reggie III carried the central role in a groundbreaking Nickelodeon sitcom, yet his time as a nationally recognized young actor lasted only a few years. Born in Compton, California in 1983, Reggie began performing as a child and appeared in programs such as Dear John, Evening Shade, and Martin. His major breakthrough arrived when he was chosen to portray Alfred "Alfie" Parker in My Brother and Me. Alfie was the older brother, viewers were invited to follow through school friendships, sports and family conflicts. He wanted greater independence but remained responsible for Dee Dee, the younger sibling who admired everything he did. Reggie balanced Alfie's confidence with believable adolescent uncertainty. He could challenge his parents, become embarrassed by his brother, or follow Goo into a reckless scheme, yet the character's affection for his family always returned by the episode's conclusion. The series debuted in 1994 as Nickelodeon's first scripted program centered on a predominantly black family. Instead of building stories around hardship or stereotypes, it presented the Parkers as an affectionate middle-class household dealing with recognizable childhood concerns. Reggie's performance helped give young black viewers a leading character who could be imperfect, humorous, and protected by a stable family. Unfortunately, My Brother and Me ended after 1 season and 13 episodes. Reggie continued working briefly, providing the voice of Jamal in the animated series, See Bear and Jamal. He also appeared in Warren Beatty's 1998 political satire Bulworth. Afterward, his mainstream acting credits largely stopped. Reggie did not abandon creativity altogether. He pursued music under the name Arthur Showbusiness Reggie III, moving from scripted dialogue toward hip-hop and personal expression. In later interviews, he reflected on the unusual experience of being part of a beloved program whose production ended before its influence was fully understood. Arthur Reggie is the image of a teen star who vanished from Hollywood, but his departure should not be confused with failure. Alfie Parker remained visible through reruns long after the young performer behind him had selected another path. Sometimes 13 episodes are enough to make a career unforgettable. Aisling Sistrunk. Aisling Sistrunk brought intelligence and balance to a television household dominated by 2 adventurous brothers. Born in Los Angeles in 1979, and raised in the Atlanta area, Sistrunk became best known as Melanie Parker, the older sister on Nickelodeon's My Brother and Me. Although Alfie, Dee Dee, and Goo generated most of the show's disorder, Melanie offered a different perspective on adolescence. Melanie was observant, mature, and often quicker than her brothers to recognize when their plans would end badly. She could tease them, challenge them, or simply watch their mistakes unfold with the patience of someone who understood them too well. Sistrunk avoided turning the character into an exaggerated, bossy older sister. Instead, Melanie felt like a believable teenager attempting to develop her own identity while remaining part of a close family. That representation carried significance. When My Brother and Me premiered in October 1994, black girls rarely saw themselves portrayed on children's cable television as ordinary daughters in comfortable, loving households. Melanie did not need to represent tragedy or exceptional achievement. She was permitted to be stylish, intelligent, occasionally annoyed, and fully included in the everyday rhythm of family life. The series aired only 13 episodes, concluding in early 1995, after conflicts behind the scenes prevented another season. Its limited production meant Sistrunk never received the years of character development that Melanie might otherwise have enjoyed. Once the sitcom ended, her screen presence became exceptionally rare. She was later associated with voice work on the adult animated series Stripperella, but no sustained acting career followed. Public information about Sistrunk's adult life is scarce, and no verified evidence links her departure to scandal, illness, or rejection. The most responsible conclusion is simply that she left regular performance and chose privacy. Creating a dramatic downfall would misrepresent a woman who has not publicly offered one. Aisling Sistrunk may be among the most complete examples of a young performer disappearing from Hollywood. Yet Melanie Parker remains preserved as the capable older sister many viewers recognized immediately, the calm voice inside a household filled with childhood commotion. Khamani Griffin. Khamani Griffin's disappearance from acting was not the collapse of a troubled child star. It was a deliberate transition toward education and a life far removed from Hollywood's cameras. Born in Oakland in 1998, Griffin began working professionally while very young. At only 4, he secured his first major film role as Ben Hinton in the 2003 comedy Daddy Daycare starring Eddie Murphy. Vaughn was a quiet child who initially communicated through references to Star Trek. Griffin's gentle performance gave the broad family comedy some of its most affectionate moments and earned him a Young Artist Award nomination. That same year, he joined the UPN sitcom All of Us as Robert Bobby James Jr., the son of divorced parents, portrayed by Dwayne Martin and Lisa Ray McCoy. Across 4 seasons and 88 episodes, Bobby became the emotional bridge between two adults learning how to co-parent. Griffin avoided playing him as simply adorable. He brought intelligence, confusion, and sincerity to a child, trying to understand why his family no longer lived under one roof. The role earned him 2 additional Young Artist Award nominations. After All of Us ended in 2007, Griffin continued working through guest appearances and animation. His television credits included ER Without a Trace, NCIS, Grey's Anatomy, Modern Family, and The Mick. He voiced Tolly in Ni Hao Kai Lan and contributed to productions such as Barnyard Happy Feet, Rise of the Guardians, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, and Sophia the First. He also appeared regularly on the syndicated edition of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Griffin's documented screen career concluded around 2017. Rather than remaining in entertainment, he redirected his communications skills toward education and competitive debate. By 2024, Harvard-Westlake School listed him as an assistant debate coach and assistant director. Khamani Griffin did not simply vanish. He exchanged scripted conversations for a profession helping students develop real voices of their own. The boy who once played a child navigating a complicated household grew into an educator guiding young people through argument, evidence, and confident expression. Zelda Harris. Zelda Harris carried an entire Spike Lee film while still only 9 years old. Born in New York in 1985, Harris began performing at approximately 3 and appeared regularly on Sesame Street. Her early experience gave her an unusual comfort before the camera, but nothing fully predicted the emotional responsibility she would assume in Crooklyn. Released in 1994, the film drew from the childhood experiences of Spike Lee and his siblings. Harris portrayed Troy Carmichael, the only daughter in a lively Brooklyn family with 4 sons. More than 1,000 children reportedly competed for the role. Yet Harris made Troy feel so natural that the boundary between acting and memory almost disappeared. Through Troy's eyes, audiences experienced crowded family meals, neighborhood games, sibling battles, financial pressure, and the painful illness of her mother, Carolyn. Harris moved convincingly between humor, stubbornness, fear, and grief. Her performance gave Crooklyn its emotional foundation and helped the film become a beloved portrait of Black family life during the 1970s. Harris next portrayed Jessie Ramsey in the 1995 adaptation of The Babysitter's Club. She became a series regular as Bethany in Second Noah and later appeared opposite Denzel Washington in Spike Lee's He Got Game. Additional credits included Law & Order, NYPD Blue, Cosby, and the television movie Clover. Rather than build her adulthood around auditions, Harris pursued education at Princeton University, graduating with the class of 2007. She also explored music as the lead singer of Zelda and the Lolas and later worked as a teacher. A few acting appearances surfaced in 2014, but she never returned to the sustained Hollywood profile her childhood work seemed to promise. There is no confirmed scandal behind her reduced visibility. Harris simply developed an adult identity beyond acting. Hollywood may have lost sight of Zelda Harris, but it never erased Troy Carmichael. Every return to Crooklyn preserves the fearless young girl who watched her family change and taught audiences that childhood memories can remain joyful even when touched by loss. Jeffrey Wood. Jeffrey Wood, whose first name is correctly spelled Jeffrey, became part of a popular sitcom before many children his age had entered middle school. Born in San Diego in 1986, Wood started appearing in commercials and guest roles at approximately 5 years old. He also gained stage experience in the acclaimed 1994 Broadway revival of Carousel, performing at Lincoln Center's Vivian Beaumont Theater. In 1995, Wood was cast as Austin Warren in the NBC sitcom In the House. The program starred LL Cool J as Marion Hill, a former professional football player who rented part of his home to divorced mother Jackie Warren, played by Debbie Allen. Austin was Jackie's young son and the brother of Tiffany, portrayed by Maya Campbell. Wood brought sweetness and curiosity to a household filled with strong personalities. His relationship with Marion helped soften the former athlete, creating a surrogate father and son connection that gave the comedy genuine warmth. Wood appeared during the first 2 seasons before the series underwent major creative and casting changes. Unlike many performers who vanished immediately after one childhood role, Wood continued acting. He portrayed Jimmy Harrison on NBC's daytime drama Sunset Beach, appearing in approximately 50 episodes between 1998 and 1999. Additional credits included The Parenthood Promised Land Strong Medicine and Just for Kicks. As a teenager, Wood also entered hip-hop under the name J-Dub. He later released independent music, created a platform intended to promote unsigned artists, and established a film production company. During the 2010s, he appeared in several short films. In 2017, he played the Warlock alongside Nathan Fillion in a live-action promotional trailer for the video game Destiny 2. Therefore, Wood did not completely disappear. His career moved away from network television into smaller creative ventures. He has remained connected to his past and publicly identifies himself as a lifelong actor. For viewers, however, he will always be Little Austin, the thoughtful child who helped turn In the House from a sports comedy into a story about unexpected family. His quieter adulthood cannot diminish the sincerity he brought to that role. Trent Cameron. Trent Cameron's face appeared across numerous black television programs and films during the 1990s and early 2000s, yet his name never received the lasting recognition his work deserved. Born in Los Angeles County in 1979, Cameron began acting professionally as a child and became a series regular on the ABC sitcom You Take the Kids. Premiering in 1990, the comedy starred Nell Carter and Roger E. Mosley as parents raising 4 children in Baltimore. Cameron portrayed the eldest son, Nathaniel Nate Kirkland. Although the program ended after a short run, it gave him early experience working alongside respected veteran performers. Cameron continued building a resume through television, movies, and guest appearances. His most recognizable film role came in the 1999 romantic comedy drama The Wood. The story followed 3 longtime friends, remembering their adolescence in Inglewood, California before one of them married. Cameron portrayed the teenage version of Roland, whose adult counterpart was played by Taye Diggs. His scenes helped establish the loyalty and shared history that made the central friendship believable. He later joined the 2000 television drama DC, appeared in American Dreams, and accepted guest roles in productions such as The Shield. Fans of the Parkers may also remember him as Gerald Goodrich, Kim Parker's boyfriend and eventual fiancé. Their impulsive marriage was quickly annulled, creating one of the sitcom's characteristically chaotic romantic storylines. Despite appearing in recognizable productions, Cameron never secured the single long-running adult role that might have established him as a household name. His documented screen work became increasingly limited during the 2000s, and dependable information about his later life remains scarce. There is no verified evidence of a scandal, criminal case, or personal breakdown responsible for his departure. Hollywood simply stopped placing him in widely distributed projects, or Cameron privately chose another direction. Trent Cameron represents the working young actor viewers recognized without always knowing by name. His disappearance illustrates an unforgiving reality. Talent can contribute to several enduring productions, yet fame may still pass quietly to someone else. These former young stars prove that disappearing from Hollywood does not always mean losing everything. Some exchanged acting for education, parenthood, public service, or ordinary careers beyond the pressure of fame. Others continued creating quietly, even though mainstream audiences stopped noticing them. But one question remains: did Hollywood fail these talented performers by refusing to see them as adults, or did leaving the industry give them the freedom childhood fame had taken away? Perhaps success should not be measured by continuous screen time, but by the ability to build a meaningful life afterward. Which star deserved a greater second chance, and whose decision to walk away do you respect most? Join the debate below, subscribe to Remembered Lives channel, and share this video with someone who remembers these unforgettable faces.